Well, welcome to my next video. I'm still making these boxes with drawers. Been looking for ideas. This came from a book. I'd have to go find the book. It's just a book of basic patterns by Patrick Spielman. I think Country Patterns is what it was called. Country Patterns for the Scroll Saw. I'll look that up and make sure I put it in the description as to what the title of the book actually is, but I believe that's what it was. Anyway, I saw this and I thought I would try this, and my planned procedure, and I say planned because it may change as I go forward, I'm going to make two drawers in this box. What I've got is a piece of solid piece of ash left over from another project. I made a heart box out of that for my granddaughter's birthday a year or two ago. And I've got on the back of it two 1/8-inch purple hearts. I got a bunch of that thin purple heart in a seconds package, and I'm using it up on these. So my intention is I got them all mounted together right now, and I'm going to cut the outline. You can see I put this is where the pattern ends, but I added a little base, and what I'm going to do is cut the outline of that first with all the pieces attached. And then I'll take one of those pieces of purple heart off and make sure the second one is attached properly to the back. And then I'm going to cut the drawer, two drawers. One of them is going to be along this line, and this will be the bottom of it. The other one will be along this line all the way down through here. We'll leave this in right there for a floor for this shelf, this drawer to slide in and out on. But that's the plan. As I move forward and I see something that sometimes you get to a point you realize that's not going to work and you have to make a change, but I believe that's going to work. I've stood and looked at this and thought about it, made sure I had a good idea on what I was going to do. Anyway, the second step will be to cut these two drawers out. Then I'll take the purple heart, and then I've got another pattern I'll mount on it, and I'll cut this area out of the purple heart up here so that I'll have the ash with this outline in purple heart with two drawers to pull in and out. This may not work, but I'm going to find out as I move forward. So let me get a new blade. I'm going to again go with the number 12 skip tooth. This is pretty dense wood. I have to cut slowly and carefully so I don't get bulges and out of things out of shape as you cut around. I think that these are pretty gentle curves. You don't have to push it too hard. The ears might be the biggest problem, but I'll just go carefully and slowly. I may have to change the blade once or twice to get through that first cut. I don't think the drawers will be too difficult to cut, but and they need to be really straight up and down so they slide in and out. Like I said, this may not work, but let me move forward and we'll see if it will. Okay, so I got that cut out. I'm real pleased with the way it cut. It's much easier to do than I thought it would be. One thing, I got the grain running across. It cuts easier cross grain than it does with the grain. So my next decision is how I'm going to cut those drawers out. If I'm going to drill a hole or do like I do on some of the others and come across the outside. One point I thought I might drill a hole and cover it up with these, but then they'd still have a hole in the back of the drawer. It may not matter, but I don't really like that idea. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut this separately like it is. I'm going to cut this drawer out right here, and then this one right down here. And I've already got this mounted on a piece of that Purple Heart. And what I'm going to do then is I'm going to drill some holes to cut these sections out, and we'll cut it out down here too. And then I'll cut these pieces out and glue those on the drawer. I wanted to cut them together, make sure they matched perfectly, but I think I can make this work. The one problem with cutting a piece this thick is you don't always line up perfectly top to bottom with your blade, and that is the case this time. This piece is ever so slightly smaller. It's not a lot, but it's really a little bit smaller than this piece. I'm going to continue with it. If it doesn't line up as well as I like, I've got some more of this Purple Heart. I may recut that. I don't think I'll have to do that. I think this is going to work. And I'm not going to cut this one until I get this one. I'm going to use this one as the pattern to make sure I get this cut in the right place right there. So I'm going to come in right up here somewhere to cut these and do the bottom drawer the same way. And then I can glue those back together, those entry cuts. That's what I've done on a bunch of those others, and they work really well. And I don't want to have a hole that I can't hide, an entry hole, because it'd be a pretty large hole for a number 12 blade. So let me get a new blade. I had to change blades one time, cutting the outer, actually twice. It came loose down here as I started out. The bottom, it came loose from the bottom holder, and I had to pull that out and change the blade because it bent it up. But then I made it all the way up to this ear before I had to change the blade, and it cut really well all the way through. So I'm going to get me a new blade, and I'm going to cut these, and then I'll use this to pattern over to this one to make sure I get the bottom of the top drawer in the right place. Well, as you can see, when I started this video, I was going to make this overlay on the front out of the same material as the backing plate, which is 1/8 inch Purple Heart. Well, the Purple Heart just proved way too brittle. It was breaking, there's grains running across it. And as I was cutting it, it's very brittle wood, very hard, very dense. So it was giving me problems staying together. And it soon became, after a break or two, I could be okay, but it became a crossword, a jigsaw puzzle. So I decided to go a different route. So I've got some cherry here that I've cut, and I've stained it so I get a contrast. So now I'm going to glue it on, and I got these cut off that go across the drawers. And anyway, I probably got them in the wrong place there, but anyway, you get the idea. I'm going to glue those together. And first I'm going to glue this on and make sure they line up before I get it set. And hopefully then the drawer will pull out. And I'm going to check that, of course, before I glue it, but make sure everything slides nice and smooth. And then I'll put a finish on it after doing a bunch of sanding. There won't be a lot of rounding over or anything like it on this one. Just getting this stuff glued on in the right place where it looks right. So that's my next step, and I'll go to work on that. Okay, I'm going to call it finished. I've done a lot of sanding on these drawers because where they're made, it's real easy to get them in a bind sliding out. But I've got them working pretty good right now. I may even wax them a little bit and make it a little smoother, but they're working pretty good right now. But that's the finished product. It's pretty close to what I had in mind when I saw this pattern and had the idea. But I just saw an opportunity to make another drawer box. I just call that the owl box. It can almost be like a hiding place. You set it up on a shelf and nobody'd know it had shelves in it if it didn't look at it close. Have stuff in there nobody could find, hopefully. Anyway, I'm going to call that good. Pretty well matched the vision I had when I started out. It was a little more difficult than I had planned because all that cutting and making those drawers slide smooth was kind of a problem, but I made it work. So if you like that, hit the like button. If you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe button. And right now, I don't know what the next one's going to be. I guess I'll surprise both of us when I get there. But anyway, thanks for watching. I hope to see you in the next video.